She ruled over one of the largest empires in human history. Her face appeared on coins across continents. Her name defined an era of revolution, expansion, and power. And in 1901 the world stood still. The queen of an empire. The matriarch of Europe. The symbol of Victorian greatness. Was dead. But what did her death truly mean? And how did the passing of one monarch change the course of the modern world? This is the story of 1901. The end of a reign. The end of an empire's golden age. Hourglass not done. January 1901, the end begins quietly. Queen Victoria, aged 81, falls ill at Osborne House on the Isle of Wight. Doctors rush in. The family gathers. The empire waits. And on January 22 the Queen breathes her last. A reign of 63 years and 216 days comes to an end. The longest in British history at the time. Her son Edward, now King Edward VII, prepares to take a crown shaped by steam, steel, and conquest. But the weight of legacy is heavy. Framed picture: young Victoria had taken the throne in 1837. Just 18 years old. She would witness a century's worth of transformation. The Industrial Revolution. Railways stretching across nations. Steamships crossing oceans. An empire that covered nearly a quarter of the planet. Factories roared. Cities swelled. And Britain became the workshop of the world. But now in 1901 the woman at the heart of it all is gone. And the world she leaves behind is no longer the one she inherited. Globe showing Europe, Africa, February, the Edwardian era begins. A new monarch takes the throne. Edward VII, a socialite, a traveler, a modern man. He represents change. But also fragility. The 20th century is young. And the shadows of future wars are beginning to stir. Across the empire colonies mourn. From Delhi to Cape Town, from Melbourne to Ottawa, black banners hang and church bells toll. The British Empire may still be vast. But its age of certainty has ended. Dear March to June, the world mourns and reflects. Leaders from around the world attend Queen Victoria's funeral. The funeral procession is a parade of power and sorrow. Kings, queens, emperors, and presidents walk behind the casket. The whole world watches. But beneath the pageantry is tension. The old alliances of the 19th century are strained. Germany rises. The United States grows bolder. Russia eyes Asia. Japan modernizes at alarming speed. The Queen is dead. And with her goes the fragile peace she once held together through family diplomacy and prestige. Satellite antenna. The early 1900s are full of invention. Telegraphs hum. Typewriters clatter. Early cars rattle across cobbled streets. The world is smaller. Faster. Louder. But also more dangerous. Every invention is a race. Every innovation is a competition. And soon, every rivalry will lead to war. Of July to December, a world in transition. In London, Victoria's portraits come down. In Paris, the Belle Époque dances on. In New York, skyscrapers rise as factories pump smoke into the air. Change is everywhere. But direction is uncertain. The Victorian values of duty, progress, and empire are giving way to something new. A century of ideology, revolution, and war waits just around the corner. The Edwardian era may only just begin. But the 20th century has already started roaring. Direct hit. Why does this year matter? Because Queen Victoria's death was more than just the passing of a monarch. It was the close of a global chapter. The Victorian era was defined by paradox. It brought industry but also pollution. Progress but also empire. Innovation but also inequality. It gave birth to the modern world. And also to many of its contradictions. Crown Victoria's reign shaped global identities. British subjects became citizens of empire. English became a global language. And monarchs across Europe were her grandchildren. But her death reminded the world that nothing lasts forever. Not even the empire on which the sun never set. Studio Microphone 1901 was not just a funeral. It was a farewell to the 19th century. And a doorway to everything that followed. World Wars. Technological Revolution. The fall of monarchies. The rise of republics. Victoria's life was a bridge between old and new. And her death closed the door on an era of impossible ambition and irreversible change. If this story gave you a new perspective on history, subscribe to Timelens, where we bring every year to life. One event at a time. One world at a time. Because history isn't just the past.